Andasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuhuvanmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, welcome all of you. This leaders program, we have had it a few times before. Sporadically we had it. Now we are having it once in a month whenever I come here. After my morning class, I do this meeting. So in this, who are all there in this? Bhakti Vriksha leaders are there. Teachers are also there. Teachers and Bhakti Vriksha leaders are there in this meeting. So as I told you, we can do three things we can do. One thing is, there are many questions that even big preachers, they get while studying Shastra. Why did Lord Vishnu distribute Amritam only to the, demigods, and he cheated the demons? So Mohini Murthy Prabhupada says it's like a Buddha. The Buddha taught atheism by Nindasi Vedam, rejecting Vedas. Like that, she also cheated the demons, he says. So, how can God cheat? That's one question people ask. Similarly, many controversies. Krishna, why he was hit by a hunter, Jara, on the feet. Some people say, Krishna died in this way. They say like that. People have questions. And people have many controversies in the Shastra, which sometimes the preachers may not be able to convincingly answer to their subordinates. And because of that, sometimes people go away also. So this forum could be for clearing such doubts from the Shastras. That could be one of the purposes. And the second, another purpose for this meeting is, Shastras say certain things, but when you're applying them in our daily life, there is some little difference, what we call as practicality. For example, Shastras say, Krishna is the Supreme Lord, demigods are all subordinates, so we should only worship Krishna as Supreme Lord and, not worship any demigod. This is a Shastric truth. But how to bring that Shastric truth to practical reality? When you come to practicality, sometimes we go to homes of newly arriving devotees and you find a lot of demigods and we don't tell them anything because we know according to Desh Kala Patra, slowly bring the truth to them. And don't abruptly tell them that remove all the demigods and put only Krishna, and then instead of giving up demigods, they'll give you up only. It happens. So therefore, the practicality. So the second thing is about practicality of Shastra, how to apply it, how much is too much, how less is too less to know it. So, like Prajalpa, I was telling example of Prajalpa. We should not do Prajalpa. At the same time, if you only talk Shastra, don't talk anything about real life or what is happening in the world now. Then people think you are an unrealistic man. People think like that. You only say what is in the book. You don't tell us how does it relate to our real lives. But sometimes in the name of relating to real life, we forget Shastra. So therefore, the real life, how to bring the Shastra application in real life, regarding that we can discuss some other meetings. And the third thing is about some new happenings in our group. Today we are going to talk a little bit about the Bhakti kutir. So this concept was given in Godruma Kalpatavi by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He talks about how different people's houses, there can be Namahatas, Namahata programs, Bhakti Vriksha programs. There can be morning programs where devotees gather together and then they may perform Mangalarti, Narshingarti, Tulsi, depending on whatever best they can do. Some places they may only chant and go. If possible, Aratis, it's even more wonderful. In some places, they even read Bhagavatam half an hour at least. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I heard that he had 2,500 such centers. And he was sitting in Godram Dweep, receiving reports from all of them. So, which means 2500 houses means 2500 devotees, And then they have assembled the nearby people from their houses, maybe 10, 20, 30, whatever, like that. So, they were sending regular reports and he knew each of them, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He would know their name, he would reply back their letters. So, don't be shocked that such a thing can happen. All great things in this world, they have a humble beginning. So, you will see that even Ramanujacharya, I heard in South India, he made 5,000 kutirs. They are called Ramanuja Kutiram. So, these kutirs were like some covering at the top so that rainwater won't come. But the sides only had poles. It was open. It was open and there was a circular thing or a square thing in which poles were erected and this was put. And people would gather there in the evening, do bhajan. And they would do katha from Puranas, that kind of thing. And the whole place would become filled up. When people hear, because 4 streets where they meet, that's where they would make. So all 4 street people can see. When they hear the bhajan sound, they come and see and it's crowded, then they will go immediately. So I heard he made 5,000 like that in his times. Can you imagine? 5,000 such centers. So, but later on, unfortunately, these Ramanuja Kutirams were used by some people for playing cards. People who come and sit in a circle and they play cards, gambling and all that they started doing. Now it's not being utilized. Sometimes dogs are coming and sleeping there. It's not utilized well. So therefore, instead of making a public place for bhajan, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's model is you make your home only a place of bhajan. Home means surely the host will be there. The host, husband, wife, children, they have an altar and it will be very lively. So if the parents are intelligent enough and children have the sukriti enough, then the next generation, Vamsha, also children will become initiated devotees. Yes, your son and daughter also become initiated. Of course, daughter will get married and go, but the son will continue what father started. Father, mother started, and he will continue. Then if father lives for say 80 years, 80 years this kutir, Bhakti kutir continues. Then when the father leaves the body, then son continues another 80 years. Correct, no? That means, each Vamsh person carries for one century, close to at least half a century to 1 century. So you will see that, this can go for thousands of years if it continues like this. So and everybody can develop it to different extent. They can develop it. Initially, they can do a morning program, Mangalarti, Narsingharati, Tulsi, Water Tulsi, and then chant Hare Krishna. Either hear a recorded class or here somebody is ready to give class, they can give class, or they can have a Zoom class. And then they may go, and once in a week, evening, they may do a weekly program there also, Saturdays, Sundays. If any of you have seen, there is one devotee called Radha Krishna Chandra Prabhu in Mysore. Radha Krishna Chandra Prabhu. He was in Pune also. So he was the one who hosted a program for Karnataka Prabhu in Pune. And his house was like a temple, we can say, big altar. And he and his wife are very expert cooks. His name is, this is Rajesh Karya is another. I don't remember his name. He went to Ahmedabad. And this Radha Krishna Chandra Prabhu came to Mysore. Mysore, he has a house. So in his house, in the ground floor, he has made a hall which is double size this hall. Exactly 2 times this size. He's made a hall. And there's a temple hall. Then you go upstairs, open to the sky. Now he has put a patra also. Almost 150 devotees can take prasadam. He has made a house. And he has made in the corner wash basin, exactly like ISKCON temples. You can wash basin, washrooms he has made. Upstairs is for, prasad. But then children classes happen also sometimes upstairs. And then adults class happens down like that. And they have a lot of activities there. So Bhakti Kutirs have the potential to develop a program weekly once like that. Weekly one program plus morning daily program. Anybody can come and join. So he has come. Shashank Prabhu has come. Shashank Prabhu studied in IIT Madras. He studied now. Then he came to Hyderabad. His family is in Hyderabad and he got married now. Your wife has come also. Yeah, Mataji. Hare Krishna. This is his good wife and Shashank Prabhu. And his parents. Mother has come. Hare Krishna. Mataji. Hare Krishna. He's saying Mataji is a gazetted officer in Secretariat. She's an officer also, and they have a beautiful house with a top floor. I can sit down. Top floor. They made a nice room along with the facility for serving prasad also outside, like I was telling you. So I went personally there. I saw it, and they are very welcoming. They are doing the morning program. Anybody can join. Now people have started joining. Now they're coming. Yeah, I told that we will have one family photo of whoever is organizing such center. 5 centers are starting now. One is yours. So, and we are going to give the name of the family members, WhatsApp number, everything we are going to give. And people will connect and start coming. And we will create awareness, we will create. We have more than 1,000 congregation we have here. So, area-wise, we want to inform the devotees. So, they will start coming. So, and I also foresee that these kind of programs in the long run will produce big number of devotees. In Pune, Jana Mataji was there in Pune, In her house was also a long hall. The width was a little lesser than this, but hall was also almost double size this. She had a hall. So Radha Gopinath Prabhu used to come for program. In that program, many people, all the Pune families like Jaydev Prabhu, Satyadev Mataji, Vamshi Gopal Prabhu, Radhika Mataji, they all came through that program, Actually, one program is steadily going on for decades, It is going to produce some of the best leaders in our community. In future, it will increase. You will see that. So, we want a weekly program which will cultivate people for decades. And we want morning program where the serious devotees will come and become more stronger. So weekly programs will make devotees and morning programs will solidify devotees. It will be like that. And then from that, many people will start programs also. Go out and do it. So that is the goal. We have been discussing in the past. Now 5 centers have come up now. So please tell me the names of the people who are, whose houses we have now. Maya Shangar Prabhu 1, Shripati Prabhu 2, Shashank Prabhu 3, Shashank Prabhu 3 and Vilashak Prabhu, yeah. Ramshank Prabhu, yeah.
Shashank Prabhu area near Vanastalipuram, nearby. From LB Nagar 4 kilometers. Yes. And from Nagol also very near. Shortcut is there from Nagol.
I think up to 5 kilometers radius people can easily come.
Yes.
5 kilometers means if you have a bike in 5-10 minutes you reach. Yes. 5 kilometers very easily. Yeah. We can do that. Very nice. And we will make it more and more systematic. This website comes. Yes. Make it very nice. Actually, he is asking about schedule. What schedule we can make. As far as I know, most grihasthas actually start their chanting at 5. Generally you can start chanting, 5 to 7 or so, if you have 2 hours, 16 rounds. Then 7 o'clock, Mangalarti, Narsingarti, Tulasarti, all 3 can be finished in half an hour. Short. We will do like that. But we do it in our voice centers, maximum 35 minutes. Correct, no? We can do it. And another 25 minutes or so can be kept for some Bhagavatam. But I think by 8, everyone should be released because they have to go home and get ready and go. But if somebody has time, there are little elderly devotees, they don't have to run to office, then they can go longer. I am saying minimum, Basically 2 hours of 16 rounds chanting and half an hour of aratis, half an hour of Bhagavatam class. Like that. Total of 3 hours. Anybody feels we can make changes in this? Anybody? Perfect it is? Yeah. And in case, like for example, if some breakfast kind of thing could be given, what they do in Pune, sometimes different devotees bring breakfast. Like for example, say 10 devotees attend program, one family will take care of breakfast. And then another 10, next day 10. So 7 days, 7 families take care. They bring some breakfast. And that becomes variety also. Somebody brings South Indian, somebody brings North Indian, somebody brings Punjabi, different. Breakfast is light snacks kind of thing. If they can make and bring it, then it can be served. Then people don't have to cook breakfast when they go home. Correct, no? When they go home, they have to cook only for lunch. They don't have to make breakfast. That's ideal. If you cannot do that, then you can keep some sundal. No sundal? Sundal means, what do you call it? Donna, they have Donna Prasad. Like that you can get. Yeah. What do you do, Prabhu, in the morning? When you do offline or online you do in your place? Online you are doing, yeah. Offline, if we can give some light breakfast, it's really amazing. If you can arrange different devotees to bring. Once a week is not a big deal for anybody. And number of devotees increases. If it is 15 families coming, then once in 2 weeks only. Correct, no? Once in 2 weeks only they have to bring. Yeah. And that family can sacrifice the morning program that day. Yeah, once in 2 weeks only. Correct, no? Yeah. Anybody want to add to this? Or any suggestions? We have one more mic, cordless. Yeah? Yeah. Oh. You have Gaur Nitai. Okay. Actually, yeah. They have Gaur Nitai and Jagannath also in the top. Beautiful. A big altar you have. Oh, big hall you have. Very big hall. Recently made house, huh? Such a beautiful hall it is. Big hall. How many? About 150 can sit? 100. Below 100, okay. Looks very big. Long it looks. Very nice. Thank you. Yeah. So, anybody else want to say anything else? Or I can get into that subject. Yes, Prabhu. Kids, they may have to go early. Because parents have to send their kids to school. They may have to leave by 7. Because kids' school starts a little early, I think. So, if it is 7, what time you begin the morning program generally? 5? Before that? 5 is already, I think, now 5. Otherwise, one thing you could do, you could keep it at 5 to 6. And then 6 to 6:30 you do Mangalarti. And then half an hour Bhagavatam. And 7 o'clock everybody leaves. So, then the other 1 hour people can do later on chanting. And they go back. Like that we can do. See, for ladies they can chant in the daytime also. The 1 hour they can chant after the children have gone to school, husband has gone to office, they can do. But the men will have to go home and chant afterwards. What I feel is 1 hour chanting, 5 to 6. Then this half an hour Arati, half an hour Bhagavatam. Then if Matajis have to go for cooking and all, they will go. But husband can chant 1 more hour. And he can go later. Correct, no? And Mataji will chant during the daytime. Correct, no? We can do like that. Both are working. Then it is challenge. Then in that case, they will say that we will come 5 to 6 chanting and they may go away. Because they have to go home and chant 1 hour. And then they have to cook and everything. And both husband and wife have to run to office. Like that, yeah. They can do like that, no problem. We are happy for whatever portion of morning they come. We want the people to come and take advantage. Rather than everybody sitting in their own home. Coming together is a good habit. Clear, no? You have one more mic? One more. 2 mics we have now. Okay. So, I said I will answer some of the questions. I'll clarify some of the questions. The first, I can start? No problem. You see, I had asked a question about why in Samudra Manthan Leela you find Lord Vishnu was doing several things. He only lifted the Bandara Parvat. He put it on Garuda and brought it. He only brought Vasuki. He became the Kachapa avatar, that Kachua. Tata is below. He became Ajita in the top. And not only that, he even permeated Devatas with Sattva-guna, Asuras with Rajo-guna, Vasuki with Tama-guna. So Vasuki will not emanate any smoke and all that. And then later on, he only became Dhanvantri also. And later on, he only became Mohini Murti also. So he is doing everything. But when it came to halaahal, he called for Siva. He told Siva to drink halaahal. He didn't drink. Why? That's one reason. But then when Kaustuba jewel came, he took it and wore it himself. So it looks like Lord is selfish. And it looks like he's cruel to Shiva. Externally it looks like that, correct? No? Any outsider, if they hear the katha, they are going to protest. Correct, no? So how will you answer them when reading the Samudra Manthan Leela chapter? We can take the mic. One mic is here, one mic is there. Anybody would like to answer? So every time when we meet, I will throw some questions like this to you. So then it will be a challenge to your intelligence. Think, yeah. Mic is working?
The Lord always wants
Mic is working?
Hare Krishna. The Lord always wants to glorify His devotees. So even till date today, Lord Siva is glorified. So the Lord is more eager.
What name is glorified?
Nilakanta.
Nilakanta, yeah, correct, yeah, Nilakanta. That's certainly the reason. Like for example, Prabhupada, you all know that, he had a couple of heart attacks on the way to America. When he was going in Jaladuta. In America, nobody came to help him. India also, no God brothers supported him with money. It appears like Prabhupada is being so much troubled and Krishna is not taking any action. It appears like that. But afterwards, you will find when Prabhupada started the movement, Prabhupada's glory became magnified after that. Same with Shiva also. It appears like Shiva is given poison, but Shiva is capable of, drinking poison and still not get, not die or something. And so Lord was thinking, to whom should I give this glory of taking halaahal? So he thought, Vaishnavanam. So he chose Shiva. So Prabhuji gave correct answer. Hari Bol. So the other question about wearing this Kaustuba jewel himself, that appears little selfish, isn't it? He could have given to Indra. Or he could have given to Shiva only. Shiva, you just now drank, so I'm thankful to you, take it. He could have given. But he wore it himself. Why? Why did he wear the Kaustuba jewel on his own neck? Lord Vishnu wore it.
It cannot be worn by anybody. Nobody can bear that weight.
Why nobody can wear it? What is the reason for that?
I do not know, sir. Prabhu,
Okay.
I heard.
Okay, you heard it.
I do not know the reason.
I don't know. I'm just making speculation. Somewhere I've heard that Kaustuba gem actually has a picture of a calf inside.
Okay.
So Krishna is Gopal. So eventually he wears it.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Prabhuji, you want to try?
Just would like to try, Prabhuji. As we said, one who owns, he has the right to enjoy it. As Krishna says, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam.
If you say like this to newcomers, they become angry. No. Although what you said is truth only. Correct, no? It is a reality. But if you tell people, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam, he is the enjoyer and owner of everything. So therefore he wore it. People will say, my Lord, God can enjoy and he tells me I can't enjoy. People say like that, correct, no? Anybody else?
I actually don't know, but I was thinking it may be like this. When Samantaka jewel was given to somebody, but they cannot hold it. Ultimately came to Krishna. So he doesn't want to give the same thing over here. Even if somebody takes it, they cannot really deal with that properly.
That is the point. If somebody else handles it, they cannot deal with it. It's like 10,000 volt electricity. You should know how to handle it. Electricians, you see them climbing on the poles. You've seen, no? They wear this gloves and everything. They know exactly where to climb, what to touch, which thing to remove, what wire to put and put. If you don't know, you go and keep the hand. Now we can get into trouble. So Krishna is like that electrician. He can handle not only Shamandaka jewel, he can also handle Kaustuba jewel. But the moment Kaustuba jewel comes to the jivas, there will be a bloodthirsty fight amongst them. Even this Shamandaka jewel, you will see, 5 people were killed if you see. Who was the first one who was killed due to that? Prasen in the forest, killed by a lion. Then later on, Jambavan slapped that lion and killed the lion. Lion was the second one to die. Then later on, Krishna brought that back and gave it to Satyajit. Satyajit became happy. And then the doubts were cleared. Then Satyajit gave his daughter in marriage to Krishna, Satyabhama, along with jewel. But then Krishna saw that he is giving jewel reluctantly. So he gave back the jewel to Krishna and take it. And then he accepted it, Satyajit. Later on, Shatadhanva became greedy. So he killed Satyajit. That's the third killing. Then Krishna came to know that Shatadhanva killed Satyajit. So Krishna chased after Shatadhanva. And Krishna killed Shatadhanva. But then by the time the jewel was taken by Akrura. Correct, no? Akrura had taken away. And Akrura's good name got spoiled because of that. His reputation was spoiled. You see. So Prasen was killed, Lion was killed, Satyajit was killed, Shatadhanva was killed, Akrura's reputation was spoiled. Even Lord Krishna's reputation was spoiled by Satyajit. There is one verse which says, Prayaha Krishnena Nihato, he is saying. Manigrivo Vanam Gataha, he says. Karne Karne Ajapanjana. Karne Karne means from 1 year to another year in Dwaraka, people started talking. Satyajit says, Krishna has taken the jewel. Like that, everybody talking year to year to year to year, it was going like that. So therefore, Krishna didn't allow his reputation to be spoiled. He found out the truth and, he presented. So 2 people's reputation was spoiled and 4 people were murdered for 1 jewel. And Kaustuba jewel is thousands of times superior to this Shamandaka jewel. So Lord thought when it came, all the jivas were all, attracted by the glitter and glamour of the Kaustuba jewel. Krishna showed it and then he wore it. Abhi kya karenge? What will you do now? Now I already have taken it. I heard that in Adikeshava temple, there's 2000 kilo gold just below the deities. They say that if anybody opens it, lot of snakes will come out. All Anantashesha associates are there inside. They will come. But the king told the pujaris that the only person who can handle this gold is who? Lord Adikeshava. So it is kept in Adikeshava temple. 2000 kilo gold they said. And solid gold it is. So Lord can handle certain things which we cannot handle. Like 10,000 volt electricity, I said. Prabhuji found out the answer.
They can still argue that, okay, living entities is okay not to be given. But Lord Shiva is still...
Lord Shiva, why he was not given? Lord Shiva was given a beautiful bungalow by Ma Parvati. Because Parvati is his wife. And Shiva accepted it apparently. But when Parvati went out and came, she saw Shiva sitting under a tree. She asked Shiva, why are you sitting out? I gave you a palace. No, just now Brahmana was poor. He came to me, I gave him. So give in charity. So he is going to give in charity to Jivas. Like he has given golden Lanka to whom? And what happened to Ravana? He was destroyed. Therefore, Lord Vishnu wore it. Correct? So, okay, I will ask another question. Why did Lord Vishnu not give any Amritam to the Asuras? They also worked hard. Correct, no? Devatas and Asuras both worked hard. But he only gave Amritam to Devatas. Any reasons for that? Anybody? Because does that not make the Lord appear partial? It appears like Lord is partial, no? But Lord is said to be impartial. Like the sunlight or moonlight or wind is impartial. But this pastime appears that Lord is partial. Yeah.
No, like Asuras, their intelligence just like the serpent intelligence, like say snakes. They are envious about demons and demigods and other living entities. So Prabhupada writes in purports, if we feed milk to the serpents, their poison will be manifold and they will be more dangerous.
Correct.
So
like there is one verse that says, Payampanam bhujanganam kevalam vishavardhanam. It says, if you feed milk and bananas to a serpent, its poison becomes even more stronger. Yeah, correct.
So for that reason, like if Krishna gives nectar to the demons, their miscreant activity will be manifold again by taking this. So it's better to give demigods, those who are, even though they are not pure devotees, but they are respecting the authority of Vishnu. They are respecting the authority of other authorities. Whereas demons, they don't respect and
Okay.
they are like the serpents, miscreants. That is the reason. I think.
Correct. I would say that Prabhuji is, I will give 90 marks to Prabhuji for his answer. 90% he got. Still, to compensate for the 10%, let us see who can give answer. Yeah. The
It is like knife in the surgeon hand and knife in the hands of thief. So knife is same, but surgeon can give the treatment to the patient,
okay.
whereas the thief can kill the.
Right. So if the demons drink the amritam, they are like a thief, and demigods are like surgeon. Okay. So you didn't want to empower the demoniac people, correct? No, that is also correct. There is one thing that Prabhupada says why Lord did not give to demons. There is one reason he gives about demons. One thing you said, they are not devotees of Vishnu. You said that. And he also said that they perform nefarious activities, troublesome activities. They said, yeah, you can give. Give the mic to him. Mic, fully.
Krishna wants goodness to be sustainable.
Which one?
Goodness.
Goodness, okay.
Devatas are in mode of
Sattva guna.
goodness, sattva guna.
Yes.
So by giving nectar to them, he is like.
Okay. But what about even those in passion and ignorance? They also have to live in this world, because ultimately they are children of God only. So how can God say that only these children will flourish and you cannot flourish? Correct, no? So but then would he not be considered partial? Yeah, yes, Prabhu.
I think demigods also required to run this universe properly.
Hmm.
So if they were given nectar, they can take care of the universe properly.
So demigods also have to run this universe?
They have to run the functions of universe, like they have different departments given, so they have
Okay.
to take care of it properly. So if demons become powerful, then these people cannot run their jobs.
He has come very close to answer what I was expecting. He has come very this close. Let us see who completes it. You are very correct, very, very close. Yeah, you repeat that.
I said, demigods are generally they're faithful servants of Lord, and they also take care of the functions of universe.
Okay. So, Prabhu will add to that.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु, दंडवत प्रभु। मेरे मन में ये था कि जैसे कि आसुरी स्वभाव वाले व्यक्ति एक्चुअली विषैले होते हैं, प्रभुपाद जी बताते हैं, तो अगर उनको अगर भगवान श्री कृष्ण अगर नेक्टर भी दिए तो उनका विष बढ़ता ही रहेगा, कम नहीं होगा।
वही पॉइंट किसी ने बोला, कौन बोला? प्रभु जी ने बोला था।
और दूसरी बात, जो देवी देवता है और भगवान उनको जो सो बहुत ही प्रिय है, अगर देवी देवताओं से भी अगर कुछ गलती हो जाती है तो वो इमीडिएट जो सो भगवान से क्षमा याचना करते हैं, लेकिन जो असुर होते हैं वो कई बार गलती करते हैं लेकिन मर मिटने के लिए तैयार हो जाते हैं, लेकिन सरेंडर नहीं होते हैं।
करेक्ट।
और भगवान श्री कृष्ण जैसे प्रभु जी ने बताया कि बहुत सारे जो सो ये ब्रह्मांड चलाने के लिए बहुत सारे डेमिगॉड्स हैं, तो भगवान इन लोगों की सेवा जो सो लेना चाह रहे थे, तो एक रीजन है प्रभु जी।
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
अब इनका what he is saying is the demigods may also commit small mistakes and all, but they are always forgiveness seeking. Again they align with Lord, and then on the other hand demons we find they create havoc and they create उत्पात मचाते हैं। Actually आपका आंसर और उनका आंसर दोनों का they are very very close. मैं आंसर आपको बोल देता हूँ, लास्ट वन एक पॉइंट सुनने के
As Krishna says, Sammoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshosti na priya. So Krishna as Paramatma equally treats everyone by providing what is necessary for them, what is best for them. So Krishna understood that for demons, not drinking nectar is good for their benefit, and for demigods it is good for them because they are aligning with his desire.
Okay.
This could be
Actually, answer is again correct answer. Only people in the audience side, they will say that, अच्छा, if somebody is, अगर भगवान के सुर से सुर मिलाते हैं, तो उनको पिलाएंगे. अगर कोई सुर से सुर नहीं मिलाएगा, उसको भगाएंगे. They will think like that. People will say like that, no? Although answer is good answer. See, the answer I will tell you very close to Raghulalan Prabhu, no? Correct? Raghulalan Prabhu and Prabhu? Leela Suk Prabhu. So they both came very close to answer. What Prabhupada is saying, Lord has one flat formula. Flat. Simple formula. Those who promote Brahminical culture, which will help the jivas to progress towards spiritual world, Lord will always be on their side. That means, the Lord is keen to see that the progress of the jiva should not be stopped. But anybody, Lord doesn't care who it is. If somebody stops the progress of the jiva back to Godhead, Lord considers him an enemy to the souls, an enemy to himself. And Lord will never support them. For example, I'll tell you for example, his own son Bhaumasura, if you see, born from Bhuma Devi, when she became Varaha, the Lord came as Varaha and lifted the Bhumi in the tusk, isn't it? At that time, Bhaumasura was born. His name is also, I think, Vrkasura, I think. Narakasura was born. But you will see that although Narakasura in Prag Jyotishpur had made a big palace wall with Murad demon also he posted, electrified campus, and moat also with a lot of man-eating crocodiles. But Lord never crossed through that lake and all that. He flew through the Garuda Airways. He came like that, attacked the Murad demon, killed him, then went and killed Bhaumasura also later on. So, of course, how he killed Bhaumasura is an amazing thing. Because Bhaumasura is born from Bhudevi. And Bhudevi is expansion of Satyabhama. So Lord knew very well, if I kill Bhaumasura, who will be angry? Satyabhama will be angry. She will be angry that you produced him and you are only killing him. How can a father kill the son? She will ask like that. So Lord was thinking how to pacify Satyabhama. She is already an angry lady. She'll become more angry, what to do. Then the Lord did a drama. He asked Satyabhama, I am going to heaven. Would you like to accompany me? She said, why not? I also would like to go for a ride. So they both went in Garuda. And then when the war started with Bhaumasura, Bhaumasura started sending so many arrows over Krishna. And Krishna was feeling like overwhelmed. And Satyabhama was shouting, what are you doing? Pick up a bow and arrow and hit him back. And Krishna said, no, I am afraid to hit him, because he is son of your expansion. I am afraid he should not get killed. She said, I am telling you, kill him now, she said. And Krishna afterwards killed him. With Satyabhama's permission also. He's very smart leader, no? He will not do anything on his own. He knows what will displease whom. But the point is, he would kill even Bhaumasura, who is his own son, but he will not kill Prahalad. Why he won't kill Prahalad? Because Prahalad is actually promoting living entities back to Godhead. He says, Shoche tato vimukache tase indriyartha maya sukhaya baramudvahatu vimudan. So Prahalad is dancing and singing in the Gurukula, making all the boys into Vishnu devotees. So why will the Lord kill him? Because they are all going back to Godhead. So Lord will not see whether you are a demon or you are a demigod or you are a devotee. Lord will not see. He will only see one thing. Are you promoting Brahminical culture which will lead to the progress of the jivas? That's what he will say. Actually, you have an example for that exception? Or, they will all be destroyed by the Lord. If somebody is acting against the Lord, you can tell the mic. Give the mic to him. Another mic is there.
Kali Yuga, is there any exception for that? Because, we have seen so many atrocities in history that, Vaishnavas were killed and all.
See, for example, let us take the example of Sri Vaishnavas killed in Sri Rangam in the 12th century, I think. So we had gone to Kumarapatti, where we came to know. But if you study the whole history, one Raja, Ulugh Khan, he was in north. But he came to know that there was a lot of gold in Srirangam temple. So then they attacked that place to loot the gold. Of course, they looted a lot of gold also. But when he came, his little daughter also had come. And she fell in love with the Utsav Murti of Ranganath, in the very first site. So when after the war, when he was taking her bag, she was feeling a great viraha, wanting to again go back to Srirangam. She became a great devotee. And actually, he had also, in the course of stealing, he had stolen something else, deity also from the Srirangam. I think some small deity had stolen, deities. So some of the Sri Vaishnavas had gone back to get that deity, I think. So, Ramacharya. And then he said, if Lord comes to you, you can take it, and Lord jumped on his this thing. That was Melukottai. What is his name? Chelva Narayana. That is Chelva Narayana. Two different pastime. That is Chelva Narayana pastime. In this pastime, what happened? That little girl, she left the palace and she started coming towards Srirangam. And she crossed all the jungle and everything, and at last she came. So when she came there, in front of everyone's eyes, she entered the sanctum sanctorum and entered into Lord's lotus feet. That means just like Andal, very similar. That means she is goddess of fortune only. But then Ulugh Khan took a very big offense and he started attacking Srirangam. So some people say that his attack was mainly to steal more gold. Some people say that he wanted to take vengeance because his daughter vanished into the deity. So he felt that somebody might have killed her and suppressed like that. He imagined like that. They say like that. But if you ask the Sri Vaishnavas, they will say that many Sri Vaishnavas formed a human chain to stop Ulugh Khan's people from further progressing and stealing Ranganath. So they stopped it, and Ranganath was transported from there. Ranganath was taken from there to Kumarapatti. There's a place where he was hidden, and a false deity was kept back here. Not only that, Sri Vaishnavas, what they would do over the deity, stone deity, they would make like lime. Lime, this much thick coating they will make. So when these fellow Mughals came and they would hit with the iron rod, that would crack. The lime one. And they will go away thinking that we have broken the deity. After they go, they would break all the lime and again make it. And that's what they would do. So they had done like that. So if you ask Sri Vaishnavas, they say that it is actually Lord's arrangement before the Kali Yuga progresses to give a chance to all these Vaishnavas to protect the Lord. When he was otherwise he would be stolen by the Mughals and desecrated, and they cannot worship. And these people, all of them are heading towards Vaikuntha because they laid down their lives. That's one thing. They say that. We have heard from Acharyas that. Vaishnavas, they say that. Second thing, if you see, I learned lessons from these things. That even in the few 100 years ago, in temples, thieves would come. They would stuff cloth in the mouth of the watchman and put his hands and legs, tie with a rope. And they would go inside the temple and then steal all the gold and everything like this. Valuables, gold, silver, diamond, ornaments, and they would run away. They won't kill the watchman. Nowadays, so everybody has a gun now. They would shoot and go. So as Kali Yuga is progressing, even Srila Prabhupada says we should not keep original gold or silver for the deities. It's not very safe. You can put simple, simple, not so valuable things. So it will not attract the thieves. In fact, Prabhupada went on to say, even the pujaris can become corrupt if you put gold and silver. Even their buddhi can become brashta. Prabhupada says that in one letter he says that. So, unnecessarily accumulating too much gold in the temple and putting watchman, locking and all these things can create complications. That's one thing. Another lesson we learned, in case they say that all gold and silver in this world is meant for Lord's service only, you want to have it, then you should have such a tight security also. You should have high security. If you see certain temples, like if you see our Delhi ISKCON temple, for Janmashtami they have 700 policemen, you know that? For Janmashtami, 700 policemen will be guarding the whole temple during Janmashtami time. There have been several threats for the temple. So, very, very great vigilance. Similarly, Srirangam is such a big temple. Do you think simply Vaishnavas catching hand, we can stop the atrocious Mughal invasion? So we will need very powerful forces to protect the temple. Like Rajputs were protecting in the north, Marathas were protecting in the Maharashtra. Similarly, in south we had Chera Chola Pandya, we had. but the protection was not so strong when in 12th century when they. So these are practical lessons we can learn. That means we should have high security and we should not have too much gold and all these things in the temples, because basically temple is a place where people, we want them to come and develop affection for the Lord, chanting, dancing, and Kali Yuga is becoming more ripe. Then we should accordingly change the policies. In those days, kings were personally building temples, personally offering protection. Now times have changed and ISKCON has to go and collect funds and make temples now. So, and also we should know that if God is sending goddess of fortune Lakshmi and he is performing a Leela, and in that Leela, like many Vanaras also laid down their life in the war against Ravana, if you see. So in Mahabharata battle, Kurukshetra also, on both sides, many people lost their lives for establishment of Dharma. Lord Krishna did that. Similarly, if lives are lost in the presence of the Lord, with the sanction of the Lord, we don't have to worry. And if they are devotees, Lord will take care of them. Yeah. So coming back to our point, what was the point? Before that, Brahminical culture is selling. Yeah. If somebody is, like Prahlad Maharaj is promoting Brahminical culture, Lord is keeping him on his lap. You will see that. Bali Maharaj surrendered to Lord. And then he agreed to, then his name entered into the list of Mahajans. He became a great soul. And he was not considered as a demon. So my request to all of you at this point is, don't label a demon as a demon. You only can see two categories of people. Those who align with Brahminical principles laid out by Lord Vishnu, and those who don't align with Brahminical principles. So Brahminical principles are easy to remember what they are. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. You can remember. You remember that I told once? A for absolute truth. B for Brahmanas. C for cow protection. D for demigod worship. Demigod worship means all the devatas are all in charges of sunlight, moonlight, wind and all that. So demigod worship. And E for etiquettes and behavior with the seniors, equals, juniors and all that. And F means flee to the lotus feet of Vishnu. Om Tat Vishnum Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surya. F. And G for goodness, Sattva. And H for holy name. So this is Brahminical culture. Easy to remember now? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So those who are promoting this, like for example, J is absolute truth. Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, they are all worshipping absolute truth. Hiranyakashipu says that I want to kill Vishnu, he says. Just the opposite. Similarly, Narada, Brahmana, Vaishnava, Dhruva is accepting. Prahlad is accepting. Correct, no? On the other hand, you find Hiranyakashipu want to kill Brahmanas and Vaishnavas and burn their hermitages. Similarly, you see devotee means cow protection. Krishi Goraksha. Whereas what Hiranyakashipu said, kill the cows. Like that. Destroy the yajna. So you can clearly see who is promoting Vedic culture or Brahminical culture and who is against it. So Lord's formula is very simple. The Vedic culture, Brahminical culture is required for jivas to gradually get purified and come to the point of Shuddha Bhakti. Then rapidly they will progress back to Godhead. But if you are going to kill the cows, Lord says to Devatas, when Hiranyakashipu will torture his devotee son Prahlad, and when you would perform atrocious activities against great souls, not in line with Shastra, then he will be destroyed. He says that. So Lord, so therefore, according to Lord, demon or, this thing, he considers that dharma samsthapanarthaya. He comes to do dharma samsthapana. Those dharmo rakshati, rakshataha, is that. So you protect dharma, dharma protects you. So if you protect dharma, Lord is pleased with you. You may be born in a demon family or a illiterate family or a antyaja family also. Lord doesn't care. So that is what Prahlad himself says to Lord. He says that you may even keep a demon on your lap if he follows, the right codes of conduct, especially being a devotee and aligned with Brahminical principles. And you will not accept even your own son if he becomes a threat to the progress of the souls, like Bhaumasura and other people. Yeah. Lord doesn't care who is who. He ultimately sees from the soul's liberation point of view. How can souls come back to spiritual world? So, then one more question I had presented, which I will answer now also. Many of you heard that when Krishna was in Prabhasa Kshetra, that time one hunter called Jara hid behind a tree, like that he hit, thinking that Krishna's lotus feet was some deer or something. Correct, no? So that happened. And after that we hear Krishna left his body, and then in this way. So even today when you go to that place, people say, here is where God died. People write like that. They put a board. So did Krishna die? Or what exactly happened? People ask you about this. Anybody would like to answer this? Anybody? Yes. Yeah.
Now, Prabhuji, you said Lord takes a role of, vanquishing such persons, those who are not promoting, rather they are obstructing such path of Brahminical culture. As per today's Srimad Bhagavatam class, you are also mentioning the same thing regarding King Vena. So here he was also completely obstructing all the Brahminical culture.
Correct.
Then with just Hunkar,
that's all, they killed,
they killed him.
Correct.
So is it that we can understand sometimes the great devotees of the Lord, they take the role of the Lord like that?
In doing that. Actually, the Brahmanas are the bureaucrats who will appoint the king. And the king will appoint the further ministers. For example, for water department, I will appoint one minister. For education department, I will appoint another minister. That is chosen by the king. King chooses. Because why king chooses? Because they have to work with him. He will only choose people who can align with him and understand the requirements. But the king was not elected by the people. Because nowadays what happens in many places, MLAs campaigning, they say, if you elect me, I will open a liquor shop in the village. Like he says. Or I'll open a cinema theatre. So Prabhupada said, government of the Shudras, by the Shudras, for the Shudras. Prabhupada said like that. So this is not allowed in Vedic times. Vedic times, the low class people don't choose. Those who are breaking all regulative principles. The Brahmanas will choose the king. And the Brahmanas could elect the king and they could dethrone the king also. They had that power. You can enthrone the king, they can dethrone the king. Both they could do. So here you find Vena was enthroned by them and they could dethrone him also.
In this present situation, how we can understand?
In the present situation, it is democracy. It's not by Brahmanas. The people are electing a king. Correct? Now the larger masses are electing. Therefore, Prabhupada called democracy as demon crazy. Prabhupada says, because the elected person may not always be a proper person. People may elect based on what will you get out of him. Basically material things they will think. So always a saintly person may not become elected as the king, always. Because it depends on the quality of consciousness of the masses. If the masses have low class consciousness, they will elect a person who will offer them low class things. Correct, no? And if the masses have elevated consciousness, for example, in India, the masses are belonging to one major religion. So they also want to see that religion is promoted and is protected and it is not troubled. So with that idea, they choose one party like that in general, right now. And in the same manner, if that fear is not there, then the masses may elect a person who will promote sense gratification. Clear, no? So anybody can answer the question about Krishna? Yes.
What I've heard is when Krishna.
My laptop can be brought. Can tell I can show. The projector is not there. I can tell the verse number. I'll tell. They will see in their mobiles, I think.
Krishna maintains all living entities by providing different things, but he also maintains their faith. So he does some activities in certain way that the faith of the atheists will also be maintained by creating confusion that he actually departed through this kind of medium.
But if confusion is created, does it not go against the purpose of the Lord? Lord's coming itself is to give.
Because he says that I'll be revealed only through my devotees.
I'll be?
Revealed, my activities will be revealed to you only through my devotees.
So your point is that devotees should learn about Lord's behavior from his devotees. So they should surrender to devotees, correct, no? And then they will, through devotees, eventually they will understand. Therefore, Lord does like this. Of course, Lord does many mysterious activities. Like he comes as a human-like child, he cries, he steals butter, he's afraid of, Yashoda's stick and all that. So they are also bewildering according to Kunti. She says that. But this activity can be even more bewildering. Correct, no?
See, Prabhuji, as Prabhuji was telling the similar lines, so Krishna mentions in one of the verses in the 11th canto that Paroksham Mamacha Priyam. So Krishna likes to be present himself indirectly, as Prabhuji said, Dharmasya Tattvam Nihitam Guhaya Mahajanayena Gatassa Pantaha. So if he really wants to understand the inner meanings of Krishna's activities, it is not possible by our own endeavors. Rather, they are, perfectly been sealed in the hearts of their great devotees.
Okay.
So one must try to learn through that. And also, Krishna maintains the general understanding of the people, because as it is said, Ye tamam prapadyante tam sataiva bhajamiham. So those people who wants to maintain that Krishna has a material body and he leaves the body like to any other people, to such people, to make them have the similar line of thinking. So Krishna leaves his so-called material body in this world.
See, this is the 11.6.35. 11.6.35. You take it. It's a long purport it is. So leave the first para, second para, third para. Come to fourth para, fifth para, sixth para. You can come to that in conclusion. 11.6.35. Again read that. Take the mic.
In the conclusion to his work, Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya, Sri Madhvacharya Pad has written the following purport to Moshal Lila. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, in order to bewilder the demons and ensure that the word of his own devotees and of the Brahmanas be maintained, created a body of material energy into which the arrow was shot. But the Lord's actual four-armed form was never touched by the arrow of Jara, who is actually the Lord's devotee, Bhrigu Rishi. In a previous age, Bhrigu Muni had placed his foot on the chest of Lord Vishnu in order to counteract the offense of improperly placing his foot on the Lord's chest. Bhrigu had to take birth as a degraded hunter. But even though a great devotee willingly accepts such a low birth, the personality of Godhead cannot tolerate seeing his devotee in such a fallen condition. Thus, the personality of Godhead arranged that at the end of the Dwapar Yuga, when Lord was winding up his manifest pastimes, his devotee Bhrigu, in the form of hunter Jara, would cast the arrow into a material body created by the Lord's illusory energy. Thus, the hunter would become remorseful, gain release from his degraded birth, and go back to Vaikuntha Loka.
Okay, next para.
Therefore, to please his devotees Bhrigu and to confuse the demons, the Supreme Lord manifested his Moshal Leela at Prabhasa. But it should be understood that this is an illusory pastime. The personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, from his very appearance on the earth, did not manifest any of the material qualities of ordinary human beings. The Lord did not appear from the womb of his mother. Rather, by his inconceivable power, he descended into the maternity room. At the time of his giving up this mortal world, he similarly manifested an illusory situation for the sake of bewildering the demons. To bewilder the non-devotees, the Lord created an illusory body out of his material energy, while simultaneously remaining personally in his own Satchidananda body, and he manifested the downfall of an illusory material form. This pretense effectively bewilders foolish demons, but Lord Shri Krishna's actual transcendental eternal body of bliss never experiences death.
Read further.
Also at Prabhashetra, there is the holy place known as Bhrigu Tirtha, which is manifested by Lord Parashurama. The place at which the two rivers, Saraswati and Hiranya, flow together into the ocean is named Bhrigu Tirtha. And there the hunter cast his arrow.
Okay, that is enough. Yeah, this is about Bhrigu. Huh? See, you all know the pastime of Bhrigu going in search of who is supreme. Correct, no? And then with Vishnu, what he did, he kicked the chest of Lord Vishnu. It became a big offense. Kicking the Lord on the chest is not an ordinary thing. So Lord thought that after that offense, naturally the consequence of offense cannot be avoided. It has to come. So he was cursed to become a hunter who would eat flesh and drink blood. That kind of life. Can you imagine? From the situation of purest of the Brahmanas, Bhrigu Muni, he came down to become a Jara hunter. All his life he lived like that. And when Lord was going to his abode, he thought that maybe, I should show my mercy to him at this point, because he has also finished his term in this world. I should take him back to Godhead, Lord thought. So, you can read another verse, I'll show you. 11:31:6. 11:31:6. If you see 11:31:6. Yes. Then how it became offense, correct, no? Yeah. Actually, therefore the Shastras are very deep. There are, that is one angle is, he was actually commissioned by the sages to go and find out who is supreme. Therefore, he was allowed to do such a thing. And then he also had tears in his eyes. He came and declared Vishnu is supreme. So that is one story. That's over. At the same time, even for the sake of the pastime which he kicked there, So for that there was a consequence. For example, even in a drama also, sometimes our boys wear saffron in drama. You have seen, correct? No? They wear, and then they keep their feet on somebody's head like Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda keeps. Is it good? It's drama only. Still, after all, they're Vaishnavas. You can't forget it. You can't keep the foot on somebody's head. Of course, some people while doing drama, they'll keep the feet little away. They will not touch the head. They'll keep it like this or whatever. So the idea is, the one pastime is for one purpose. But because the kick has happened on Vishnu's chest where Lakshmi resides, Vishnu didn't take offense. But who took offense? Yes. Shiva didn't take offense when Chitraketu laughed. Who took offense? Like that it happened. So he had to become a hunter. Not because of angering mother, divine mother. So he became a... Oh, Lakshmi cursed that Brahmanas will always be poor. Yeah, actually, her anger came on Bhrigu also. If you read Vishnu Purana, Padma Purana, exact detail you can get what happened. So now one more verse I am telling you, 11:31:6. You can see the word to word translation. Lokabhiramam Swatanum, if you see, to all the worlds, most attractive, Swatanum, his own transcendental form, Dharana Dhyana Mangalam. It is meant for Dharana means holding in our mind, Dhyana means meditation. Yoga Dharanaya Agneya Adagva Dhamamavishat. So here read the translation.
Without employing the mystic Agneyi meditation to burn up his transcendental body, which is the all-attractive resting place of all the worlds and the object of all contemplation and meditation, Lord Krishna entered into his own abode.
Generally, mystic yogis create a fire in their belly, like that. And that, like they sit in the forest generally, and sit in that Padmasana posture, and they elevate through Kundalini Shakti, from the Mooladhara Chakra to the Brahmarandra. They rise, and then they break the Kapala, and out of it they come out. But when they come out, they don't leave their body. They don't, keep the metal body as it is. They don't bury the body, but they burn the body. How? By creating a mystic Agni fire inside, like what Sati did. Like that, Sati also did that. She burned her body like that. Even he also did that. What is it? Dhritarashtra also did that. Dadichi also. So all these people are capable of doing that. Did Krishna do that? No. Why he didn't do that? The answer is, he has what body? Transcendental body. That's what he's saying. Read that again, translation.
Without employing the mystic Agni meditation to burn up his transcendental body, which is the all-attractive resting place of all the worlds and the object of all contemplation and meditation, Lord Krishna entered into his own abode.
Yeah. Dharanaya and Dhyana and Dharanaya says, his body is meant for everybody's contemplation, everybody's love and service. Why should he burn that body? He's asking. Therefore, Adagdva is used there. Adagdva, Dhama Avishat means what? Avishat means to enter. Dham means abode. That means with the same body, Krishna entered his abode. Read the purport.
A yogi empowered to select the moment of leaving his body can cause it to burst into flames by engaging in yogic meditation called Agni. And thus he passes into his next life. The demigods similarly employ this mystic fire when being transferred to the spiritual world. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead is completely different from conditioned souls like yogis and demigods. Since the Lord's eternal spiritual body is the source of all existence, as indicated here by the words Lokabhiramam Swatanum, Lord Krishna's body is the source of pleasure for the entire universe. The word Dharana Dhyana Mangalam indicates that those trying for spiritual elevation through meditation and yoga achieve all auspiciousness through meditation on Lord's body. Since yogis are liberated simply by thinking of Lord Krishna's body, that body is certainly not material and therefore not subject to burning by mundane mystic fire or any other type of fire.
Yeah, and then below, if you see, next para, last 3-4 lines. Thus, although the Lord appeared to enter the mystic yoga trance, the word adagdva indicates that the Lord, since his body is purely spiritual, bypassed the formality of burning and directly entered his own abode in the spiritual sky. This point has also been elaborately explained by Sri Jiva Goswami in his commentary to this verse. Correct, no? In Krama Sandarbha, you will read that. That is Jiva Goswami's... actually, Jiva Goswami has 2 tikas. One is Krama Sandarbha, another one is called as Laghu Toshini. The Brihat Toshini is Sanatana Goswami. Laghu Toshini is Jiva Goswami. How to remember this? Jiva Goswami is young and Sanatana Goswami is like uncle. So Brihat Toshini and Laghu Toshini. So you can read in Laghu Toshini commentary, you will see this purport has a much longer purport, elaboration than this. So this is one verse, and one more verse number I'll tell you, which you can also read. So verse number is 1,343. You can take 1,343. Got it? Please all of you repeat. Krishne swadhamo pagate dharma jnanadi visaha kalau nashtadrishamesha puranarko dunoditaha. See, very simple meaning. Krishna means in Krishna's swadhama upagate, return to his own abode. See, there also the word swadhama is used. Yeah? Adagdva dham avishat. He entered into his own abode. Here also it says, Krishna swadhamo upagate, return to his own abode. And then dharma jnana adi visaha. Then he talks about Kali Yuga. Similarly, here also in the purport, if you see, just after the departure of Krishna to his own abode, he says. And then below, I will show you one part of the purport here. Okay. Krishna descends in this world. Here it says, below, how many lines from below I'll tell you. Maybe 10 lines from the end of the purport. If you see, Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna appeared, 10 to 12 lines. Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna appeared before us just like a little prior to the beginning of Kali Yuga, and he returned to his own eternal home, practically at the commencement of Kali Yuga. While he was present, he exhibited everything by his different activities. He spoke Bhagavad Gita, specifically, and eradicated all pretentious principles of religiosity. And prior to his departure from the material world, he empowered Vyasadeva through Narada to compile the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. And thus both Gita and Bhagavatam are like torch bearers for the blind people of this age. He says, correct, no? So the correct understanding is, Krishna's appearance in this world is like the sun rising in the east. And Krishna's disappearance from this world is like sun setting in the west. Like how many of you have seen in Kanyakumari, sun setting, you have seen that? People click photos and everything. It appears like the sun is entering into ocean. Correct, no? Exactly, it looks like that. But is it entering ocean? It doesn't enter. It's setting. And then at the same time, sky becomes dark. That doesn't mean sun has died. Sun is elsewhere shining. In fact, wherever the sun goes, there cannot be any darkness. Yahan Krishna taha nahi Mayaradhika. So Prabhupada says, imagine somebody from India, when sun is going from east towards western world, you also go with the sun. Will you ever get night? See, one aeroplane is going like this with the sun. Same way like this. That means the aeroplane will always be with the sun. That means if you are Krishna conscious, you have no ignorance. Because you are going with Krishna wherever he goes. Like the Prabhupada says. So, this way, these 2-3 verses which I showed you, you can keep the numbers with you. Anybody asks about Krishna's passing away from this world, you can quote these few verses. As far as Bhagavatam is concerned, there is no place any mention of Krishna leaving any body. Krishna only returned to his abode. Swadhama upagate. Some people say that in Mahabharata or somewhere they have read Krishna left a body which, for the queens, to see and everything. So that they will, otherwise they will wonder where it suddenly vanish or something. But in Bhagavatam, there is no mention like that at all, anywhere. Krishna only has returned to his abode. That's mentioned here. You can see that. So, in this way, the specific Sanskrit word should be remembered. Krishna, Swadhama, Upagate. This is one. Similarly, there also, Adagdva, Dhama, Avishat. Adagdva, without mystic Agni in his body, he entered his own abode. So, these are the words. And the Bhrigu is becoming the hunter. And what happened when the hunter hit the feet of Krishna from behind, he thought it is a deer. But when he came in front of Krishna, when he realized Lord is sitting, what did the hunter do? Do you know that? He loudly cried out. And he fell at his feet. You will see one picture where hunter is bowing down. Krishna is crying. He says, my Lord, I have done a great crime. Please forgive me. He was crying, Lord was smiling. And at that time when he got up, Lord manifested the 400 form with Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. And hunter was trembling seeing that Vishnu's form. And Lord told, my dear hunter Jara, your duty in the material world is over. And you are not a hunter, you are actually Bhrigu. You are a great, noble, pure personality. Now your account is over now. It's cleared now. Now I bless you to return back to Vaikuntha. So Lord said, even before me, you will go back. So Lord blessed him and sent him back to Vaikuntha. And the Lord also ascended to Vaikuntha at that time. You don't hear that, because the hunter hit Krishna's feet, immediately brought some alampati or something, some jadi booty or anything. You don't see that. The next verse says the Lord is ascending to his abode. So therefore, one should not consider the Lord's passing like passing of any ordinary jiva. Lord's janma karma chame devyam. So Lord's everything he does is devyam. So whenever we assemble like this on monthly ones, we will discuss on different sections of the scriptures which are doubt producing for the common people, which they may bring it to you, and then we will discuss it here. Shri Prabhupada ki, Har Bhakta Vrinda ki. Thank you very much. No, he entered into Tota Gopinath. Correct. Even Andal also entered into Ranganath. Andal. Actually, Andal was shown by her father all the 108 Divya Desams. And she told, please tell me the pastime of each deity. She heard, okay, tell me next one. After hearing all of it, she said, now I have identified my Lord is Krishna and that Krishna is Ranganath. She said, I want to marry him. So they made arrangements for marriage exactly like a father would make arrangements for a girl's marriage. Everything was done. Therefore, even today also, in all the marriages, they sing those songs only. Malai Satyanar, I have heard that. And then uncle is lifting the little girl, and then the maplai, that bride, groom and bride, and they brought all the songs that are sung for Lord's Kalyanam. They are only sung in marriages also. Yeah, it was like a typical marriage. And then at the end of all of it, she entered into Sanctum Sanctorum, never came out. When they opened Sanctum, they didn't find her. She entered into the feet of the Lord, and when she's entering feet here, she's entering Vaikuntha there. Like that, yeah, very amazing. Therefore, we say Janma Karma Chame Divyam. Lord and his devotees' activities are extraordinary, not ordinary. Yeah. Prasad? How many people? Haribo.
Sripati Prabhu. Shashank Prabhu.
Thank you.